Namaste. How are you doing? Free the mind, inner alchemy, transforming suffering into the sacred space. Or we can say the mirage of the mind from victim to visionary. How you can change your life, you simply move from happening to me to happening for me. So, why it is not possible? The last time we discussed in detail that peace, happiness, and love. There is a peace first. Mind goes within and lives within, and we have lot of practices for that. And then in that state of the peace, when the mind lives within, it is not looking anything outside for peace. And then we find a sense of the joy within. And it comes from deeper within. It does not come from outside. When it comes from outside, even though it doesn't come from outside, but I feel it is coming from outside, then it is happening to you. When it is happening for me, it is happening within. And we miss it. Someone knocks the door and the mind says it is happening to me. Why the hell you have come? You are causing a stress to me. Happening to you. Happening for me. Oh, this is an event. It has come. It will go. Someone knocked the door. You communicate with them and finished. Whether it is your son or friend or relations or any event in your life. Who recognizes it is happening to you or happening for me? Your mind. Is your mind aware, or mind gets carried away by the past impressions? If it is carried away by the past impressions, then it is happening for you. Happening to you. But when it is, you keep it separate in your head. Oh, this is just an event happening for me. Okay, how are you, David? Finished. So what exactly happens? That first is the peace within, happiness within, love within. And now you express peace, happiness, and love in every event, in every relationship, with everyone. You don't care what the circumstances and events are there for you in the life. Are you getting it? It may be a Christmas event, it may be meeting with a David or anyone, it may be a stranger, it may be going to. They are all happening for me. This event happening to you will cause lot of challenges. So, happening to you, the mind becomes the worst master. Happening to you, yes, and happening for me, the mind becomes the faithful servant. But mind doesn't stop there. The problem is this: I carry forward the past impressions in events and I recall and I remember them and I'm overwhelmed with those thoughts and a feeling and suddenly the guy comes, the mind creates an image about it and then it processes the thought, feeling and emotion, then the David becomes the worst person. Just an example. But when the mind is not carried away by the past impressions, then David is David, finished. Mind is not reacting, hesitating to a person, to an event, to a thing outside. You wake up in the morning. Wake up in the morning, check. Conscious mind says it's a morning. Morning means waking up. Waking up means start thinking, speaking, and acting in peace, happiness, and love. But the mind deeper than there starts the journey of happening to me. It's a good morning, it's a bad morning. And yesterday it recalls what happened yesterday where you reacted, you were stressed, and then it processes the information, comes on the surface of the mind, that good morning is gone. Morning is still there. It's a good morning, it is still there. But from your mind, you have created a veil that makes the mind the worst master. Now you are getting carried away by the worst master. Have you ever seen? You already heard it and you read many news articles. Who is the worst master and who is the faithful servant? Employer and employee relationship. Do you want an example? When you are faced with a criticism, observe whether your mind reacts with a defensiveness, worst master, or uses as an opportunity for self-reflection. I've been telling you. Many people say you are crazy, and my answer is instant. I'm more crazy than you think. This is happening for me. When I say, how dare you say it, it is happening to me. Why you have come, David? It is happening to you. Oh, welcome. Welcome, my son. Come on, do you want to take a cup of coffee and tea? Happening for you. This is you shift your perspective. When you shift your perspective, it takes you to the path of the progress, evolution, and awakening. So last session I discussed about peace, happiness, and love. You recognize, you remember, you recall. It is happening for you. Finished. How long it will take? Prescription medication I discussed last week. Instead of dwelling on a missed opportunity, ask yourself in every situation what I can learn from this experience to improve in the future. David is just a name, an example, so that we can understand. Remember to create a space within yourself, and that space is created when it is happening for you. Dedicate few minutes each day to sit quietly. Sit quietly means the mind is going within. Remember the Mangalacharan or the Shanti mantra. Repeat it with understanding, with awareness, with an experience, and you are ready for it. Every day when you wake up in the morning, sit on the bed, Close your eyes and you are sitting in a comfortable and carefree manner. And the first thought you have in your mind is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Let everyone be happy. Happiness. Happiness where? Inside me. It is always there. It is independent of anything outside. I have an agenda to set. Oh, you already have lot of things to do in your life, but let this peace and happiness be expressed outside. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Before the mind digs deep inside your mind into the past and starts superimposing, when you wake up in the morning, morning is always good. Sun rises. It gives you the light and the freshness. It inspires me to wake up and get ready, live consciously. But the worst master digs deep inside into the past and overpowers the veils. How? By thought process. What you are doing, Shanti Mantra. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Are you understanding? First time you wake up, the moment, the moment you wake up, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Let everyone be happy. It is not intellectual. So then you come out that happiness in me should be expressed with everyone, with any event, in any event, during the entire day before I go to the sleep. And before I go to the sleep, I say, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. So throughout the day, in the background, peace is there. Happening for you. In the background, the anxiety, stress, duality, conflict. Who did this? I invited this. How can you say I don't want to invite? Well, it comes because I live unconsciously and habitually. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Let everyone be in the state of well-being. Everyone be in the state of the well-being. Well-being, well-being, well-being. So these thought reverberates in your mind. It depends on you how long you take your mind to move to the Shanti mantra. Early in the morning, you have these first thoughts. And the third line you already know. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Let everyone be blessed. That blessing and the grace is always present in the mind, overpowered by past. You don't allow it. Can I help you at every moment so that you shouldn't allow? No, that is your choice. If you exercise a choice for peace, happiness, and love, it will come to you. If you don't exercise the peace, happiness, and love, anxiety, reaction, duality, conflict will enter into you. So in the last 2 or 3 sessions, in the last session, I redefined the peace, happiness, love. Can you live in happiness without peace? Answer is no. Can you live in consistent, constant uh, in pure emotion, in love, without peace and happiness? Answer is no. I love you so much and you don't care me. This is not love, this is attachment. Uh, this is attachment. I loved you so dearly, but you cheated me. The mind is overwhelmed with demand, with attachment, with the duality, with the conflict. I paid you so much. I have been taking care of you, but you don't care me. Still, there is a demand in it. So make a conscious choice you have given to your son. Example. And finished. No expectations. You are not giving the money to change his mind. Money fulfills the basic necessities of life. Money does not contain that peace, happiness, and love so that he will respond to you in peace, happiness. So we discussed about this peace, happiness, and the love. Never forget this. Every day you wake up in the morning, recall, remember, repeat. Allow the mind to settle into this Shanti mantra, and then you start working outside. Why I'm saying so? So peace, happiness, and love for you or to you. Happening to you or happening for you. You are aware of happening to me moments. Pay attention to when you feel like a victim, blaming external circumstances for your suffering. It is happening to me. It is the mind is expressing it. Simple. So I check. Mind, you are expressing it is happening to me? No. But if yes, then you are a victim. You are blaming, you are reacting, you are into anxiety, you are into hesitation, you are into duality, you spill your coffee and immediately think, of course, this would happen to me, my day is ruined. Come on, spilling a coffee, and your mind starts thinking that, this is going to happen to me, my day is destroyed. What it has to do with the day of coffee and the whole day? So what you do, you pause and observe and remember. When you recognize it is a happening to me, thought is happening to me, you give a pause and observe your emotion without attachment, without judgment. Instead of reacting, take a deep breath and notice the anger. Just remember, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. And notice the anger and the frustration rising within you. Happening to you, my friend. Everything is done by the mind. Mind is the worst master, I've been telling you. You have to make it a faithful servant. Mind, you start thinking in a different way. Reframing the narrative. Consciously shift your perspective by asking what I can learn from this. David has come, what I can learn. Oh, come on, welcome. How can this experience help me grow? You ask this question. Okay, I spilled my coffee, it's a bit inconvenient, but let me clean it up and maybe more careful next time. Finished. That event has taken place. It's a happening for you. Finished. You have to identify the opportunity in every situation, in every event, in every relationship. My son didn't call me for so many weeks. Maybe he's not concerned about his mom. Change the narrative. Can my son give me the peace, happiness, and love? Answer is no. Yes, relationship is there, so he should have called, but he might be busy. Let him take care of his life. And then what happens? Once you continue to do it, you cultivate the gratitude. Find something to be grateful for, even in the midst of adversity. Have you seen those women who didn't have any son or the daughter? How much they are suffering? Thank God. I'm grateful to you. At least you have given me grateful. So you see that you are making the mind, which is the worst master, as faithful servant. I'm grateful. This is with the Shanti mantra. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. The life changes. My master used to say, "O mind, be at peace. This will also pass." What will also pass? Even the David has come, he is angry, he is agitated, and you maintain the calmness. This is an event, it has come, it will go. And within few minutes he leaves the house, you're free. No, I'm not free. Happening to you. Your mind. Happening for me. This event has come. So next time I'll be more softer and calmer. I will check my peace, happiness, and love towards this guy who is suffering. Are you understanding? Will you ever have anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict? Reinforce. You have to reinforce. How many times you reinforce every day is the key to success. Happening to me versus happening for me. Two contrasting mindset. It is just a mindset regarding the life events. Your car stopped at the red light and you are hammering, you are trying to force the steering and you are into anxiety, or you are calm, relaxed, waiting for a green light. Happening to me, happening for me. I'm just making it clear. So from happening for me to happening to me to happening for me. From the worst master to a servant. Mind, hold on. Don't start hammering the steering at the red light. Now that opens up to a new understanding. Why it is happening to me? Because I'm seeking pleasure. I'm expecting something from the world. I'm getting attached to someone or in relationship outside in the world. That is why happening to me is happening. Are you getting it? That is why happening to me is happening. Take an example. You wake up in the morning. Morning sun, it is as the same. Previous day I had some reaction and anxiety. Those impression pops up in the mind when you wake up in the morning. Even when you see it is a good morning, mind turns that into a bad morning. Because of that thought process carried forward. That you have to take a decision there. Why? So there is some element of pleasure, expectation, attachment, delusion. That is what we say the worldly pleasures. And your mind instantly reminds you there is no pleasure in the world outside. It is the happiness, peace, and the love always reverberates in me at all the time, in every situation, in every event. I'm simply saying, my dear friend, can you just remember, can you think in that way every day in the morning? So first you recall, you remember, then in every event you recall and repeat it and see what happens. The victim mind does not dare to enter into your life. So what happens when it doesn't dare to enter into your life? I'm going a step further. So first we started happening for me to happening to me, worst master, faithful servant, then pleasures in the world, and then you have to understand that clearly. Pleasures from the world, peace and happiness from within. And then what happens, you have already applied it, but when you have applied, what happens? There is a sacred space within you. It is always there. It is veiled. It is clouded. Huh? It was clouded. It was veiled, but because of your conscious thinking and using the Shanti mantra, you realize and recognize that sacred space in you. What is that sacred space? Outer events, people, relationship, your expectation meets the real self in you. The real self rebuts, repels all the contents of the worldly pleasure and expectation and attachment. So that very moment is a sacred space where, did you get it? Where you don't feel yourself the victim of the circumstances, events in the world outside. Why? It is absent. Why it is absent? The real self cannot allow it. Why it cannot allow it in that moment? That moment is a sacred space. How it comes by the Shanti mantra regularly. Besides, you continue with other meditation. I'm focused on this issue, this topic, maybe one more session, and then we will go further. So the real self meets the apparent personality. Or you can say the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom meets the person created by the mind. I did not understand. I am stressed. The mind has created the personality. Mind has created a new Nancy. One Nancy is the real, which is of the nature of peace, happiness, love. It is not going to change. It will never change in the entire life. The other Nancy is created. I'm stressed. I'm into anxiety. Nobody cares me. I have lot of expectations from you. I have paid you so much, and still you are not changing, my son, etc., etc. That is another Nancy. It does not exist, but I make them exist, and then I enter into happening for me. Happening to me. That is the only problem. and we use it by different names: ignorance, delusion, impurity of the mind, attachment, expectations, pride, jealousy, hatred. Oh, they all come because into that apparent person that I have created because of expectation. Are you able to link all the together? Again, happening to me versus a happening for me. Worst master versus faithful servant. Worst master pay attention. The third factor is the worldly pleasure, I'm stuck to it, or I'm stuck to the inner peace, happiness, and love. You see, the third, but then I recognize, yes, after doing this, I experience that peace and the calmness. It is the sacred space. But for a fifth point, what happens in the sacred space? The real self comes in front. It is unveiled because of this journey we have undertaken. And the first time I recognize and I realize and I experience that peace and happiness and love are within me. That is known as the Mangalacharan, auspiciousness. So normally in language we say we create auspiciousness, but fact it is always there. But why I don't see it is clouded. The first three steps. That is why we are understanding that once it is not clouded, when it is not veiled, we are always living into that space, sacred space. So, sacred space. Then the sixth point is that the Mangala Charan, in that Mangala Charan, we consistently and consciously recognize and experience that I am in peace, happiness, and love, independent of event, person, relationship, duality, conflict, pride, jealousy, expectations, attachment. What will happen? What should happen? Two things. So you are repeating days after days. There are 2 points here. One point, when I say you repeat days after days, so you have repeated in the morning, and the next 15, 16 hours of the waking state you forget everything. Why you forget everything? It is happening to you. The mind has already taken over. Oh, so I have to maintain my awareness. Yes, the way you maintain your awareness, going to the restroom, going to the kitchen, going to the bedroom, reading something, listening to me, finished. Did you get it? So there are two options. You practiced every day in the morning, I would say religiously, but the next 15, 16 hours you live in forgetfulness. You go after expectations and attachment. Second option, that you have repeated, you have recognized, and now you remember and recognize that every situation, event is happening for me, not to me. What do you have to do for that? Just think of that. So the entire day, everything is happening for you. You need hardly 7 days to transform. But you have just done in the morning and you forget the rest of the day. Oh, it may take me about 100 years. No, I'm just kidding, Even if you're doing it morning, one day what is going to happen after a few weeks, if the mind reminds you consistently and constantly reminds you to live in peace, happiness, wisdom, or recognizing verse master, you drop it, or you recognize happening to you, you drop it, happening to me, you shift your mind. I've explained by the good morning and the bad morning. And then what we are repeating, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschet Dukha Bhag Bhavi. Let everyone be happy. We are not building our ego that's why I'm praying everyone should be happy. No, we are recognizing and realizing that happiness within me is the happiness in every person, every event. But then why people react and become angry? Because they are trying to find that happiness by being angry. They are not exposed to the Eastern wisdom. You are exposed to the Eastern wisdom, so you have a greater responsibility to yourself. I recognize that peace, happiness, and love are within me, and the event is outside. It cannot impact me. It cannot influence me because peace, happiness, and love is inside me. So any other person is reacting, becoming angry and upset because they are trying to find the happiness by being angry, agitated, and suffering. What is my role then? I should move with a compassion and love and care. Why? Because it is happening for me. I have an opportunity to move into peace, happiness, and love towards every event, things, and people in the world. That is the meaning. Let everyone be happy. The same thing, let everyone be in the state of well being. Let everyone be blessed. Blessing in the grace. I am grateful you have given me this opportunity to check if I still remember the peace, happiness, and love in me or not. And you move into the same sacred space throughout the day, it will take hardly 7 days. At every moment, I should remember. I know you have a doubt. Why I should not do anything? No, you should be doing everything. You are doing all the activities of your life. Don't you remember that you are a woman? Don't you remember that you have kids? Don't you remember where you are living? Don't you remember which car you possess? There you don't ask that, I have to do everything throughout the day for 7 days. Remembrance, awareness. It is there in the background. You're a woman, you have kids, you have your house, you have this car, you have this profession, you have same way, you know it. Sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everyone be blessed. In the last one, I'm cautious. Instantly, I become alert. Let no one suffer from any misery, no suffering at all. The moment I have an anxiety, I remember. You can remember happening to you, or you can remember mind is becoming the worst master. It has veiled the peace and happiness, or I have a worldly desire with expectations. That is why I experience these symptoms. You have become a seeker now. You are a higher level of a seeker, so you just think, get rid of it. I believe you're getting it. Oh, it's a matter of just an awareness. It's a matter of awareness. Nothing else. So you are 100% clear happening to me and happening for me. Happening to me. The mind gives an interpretation of event of a person or a relationship as negative, victimizing and beyond control, leading to leading to anxiety, duality, conflict, problem, reaction, a long list. I have already repeated a couple of times. But happening for me is when the mind perceives the event, the same person, the same relationship, separate, separate first. Then it sees that as an opportunities for the growth, for learning, for evolution, for awakening. Why? You are able to maintain that peace, happiness, and love within you. And I have already discussed in detail worst master and the faithful servant. But the mind is clouded because my mind starts the journey with the happening to me, then it becomes the worst master, and you know what the worst master does. That worst master clouds my judgment, it clouds everything, every event, every relationship from days to days, filled with a wrong narrative. What is that wrong narrative? The worldly pleasure. So my mind keeps on running, it is wandering, worldly pleasure. Why it runs? Because I have an expectation, an attachment, and a duality, and a conflict, and a long list. So the worldly pleasure or real self of the nature of peace and happiness. So we understand clearly happening to me, the victim mindset is there. When I have a victim mindset, then only I am into anxiety, reaction, duality, and a conflict. Do you want the victim mindset? No, I don't want. So I have to consciously start thinking, feeling, moving different. Happening for me, the growth mindset. Worldly pleasure related to the worst master. Peace, happiness, and love within, awakening mindset. So that awakening mindset simply means imagine yourself as a gardener who tends to a garden. Garden, mind. Why gardening the mind? Removing the weeds. But why you removing the weeds? To allow that peace, happiness, and love to manifest in your life 24/7. You're removing the weeds. What are those weeds? Caused by happening to you, worldly pleasure, worst master. You simply recognize that is one option, or you simply continue to say Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina and keep that awareness throughout the day, remembrance in the background of your mind. That will work. So it's a shift. That shift changes the mind from being the worst master to a faithful servant, from happening for you, no, happening to you, to happening for me. There is a shift in the mind, shift in the awareness. You're not doing anything outside. That leads you into the sacred space. Pay attention, that sacred space is always there. We normally use the word creating a sacred space. While listening, are you in the sacred space? Yes, because my teaching, not my teaching, teachings of our teachers, is hitting your mind. Removing the mind is the worst master. It is not allowing the mind to go for the worldly pleasure. That mind goes within, it hits the real self, and you recognize that I'm calm. You are not calm because of me, you are calm because of yourself. No, your teaching has helped me a lot. Yes, I would appreciate, I'm grateful. I pay gratitude to you that you have understood these principles. That is why you are changing. No credit to me. my intention is only sorry, when I receive your experiences and when you share your feedback, I extract the main points and I recognize where your mind and how it is working, and based on that I choose the next lesson. But when you don't share your feedback, then I say you have already understood, and let me move further. So sacred space. So recognizing, revealing that sacred space can easily be done by the Mangalacharan. And Mangalacharan is auspiciousness, is an invocation. It is known as the ritual act, but it is not a ritual. Now we have already understood it. That sets the intention and prepares the mind to receive that peace, happiness, and love. How? By the Shanti mantra. Where is the one Shanti mantra that we have done? In today's session, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhin. I get emotional when I say Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. My mind leaves all the associations with everyone. So where the mind gets associated? Only in the state of the happiness coming from within, and it is expanding outside. Sacred space. So in the midst of all these challenges in the world and relationship, and that sacred space, I could see, I could feel, I could realize, I could experience. Powerful. Why? That is why I say it is always there. I know you have a clear answer if I ask you the question, but I don't recognize. So ask yourself why. And I have already given the answer in this lesson, my friend. Where do you naturally experience a sense of sacred space in your life? All the time. Sacred space doesn't mean that, here is a home, here is the office, here is the highway, and you have different spaces. No, it is always there in you. In you, within you. It doesn't point to any particular location. It is universal. that is why we go on a vacation to a beach where we see the horizon. We see almost like the infinite space, and the water is totally calm, no waves is there, and I could see the horizon where the sun meets the earth, and then no. So the mind recognizes or realizes or reveals the same space in me. It doesn't mean that that horizon enters into your mind. That is happening for you. And if the anxiety reaction of a person in front of you enters into your mind, choice is there. You may ask a question that how can this entire talk where you discussed about the sacred space helps you navigate the challenging situation. The moment you are in the sacred space, all the challenges are accepted as an opportunity. You remember, your mind recalls, I'm not just my reactions and emotions happening for me. Do you want to know what it feels like to imagine consistently living from this sense of sacred space? Can you imagine? Imagine feeling more grounded, peaceful, resilient. You picture less reactivity and more acceptance, with a deeper sense of peace, happiness, and love within you. You are connected to your real self. You're not driven by the external circumstances for validation. You have an inner wisdom. All those points comes under the Mangala Charan, auspiciousness, with a setting intention and creating, creating a sacred space. Creating a sacred space, don't take it wrongly. That sacred space is always there. You reveal. Your mind touches that. Because if the mind is the worst master, it is not going to help you. Because that says, I am the master, worst master. You be in anxiety, and that is my sacred space. Keep on expecting, and that is my sacred space. Are you understanding that? That is what our worst master, why it is saying, because deep inside that worst master mind, the worldly pleasure, aspiration, desire for the worldly pleasure, with millions of impressions are present, with son, with daughter, with business, with profession, with body, with emotions, with oh. So you see, with the millions of the thoughts pertaining to objects, event, people, relations, what it means, the mind is scattered in millions of directions outside. Millions of directions. happening for me, gone, happening for me. These are the events, momentary events, the world continues to change one event to the other, I don't invite the morning to happen. Changing event, I don't invite evening to happen. I don't plan to be anxious, agitated, angry if someone knocks at the door. Are you getting it? Very important point. Oh, it is just happening to me? No. In any given situation, whether you are present or absent, David will continue to behave and react in the same way as he does with you. Am I sure? Are you sure about it? And if that is the case, then it is happening for me. I'm learning, I'm following the path of the self-discovery, so it's my duty towards myself to stick to these simple principles happening for me. Mind, stop this nonsense. Your worst master, worldly pleasure, expectations, attachment, I have left you. What is left in the mind? These principles. You move into that state. So many masters say it directly, but it does not give you a fair understanding. That is why I explained in step by step, so that you remember all these steps even for a couple of weeks during your living your life, days after days. You will realize that why I was into anxiety, stress, duality, conflict, because it is an untamed mind. Untamed mind is the mind becomes the master. Tamed mind, mind becomes the servant. In India, cow is considered a sacred animal. So one guy was holding the leash, neck around that cow, and walking into the village. A monk was passing by. This guy had a big pride possessing the cows. It was known as the possession, great possession. Oh, like the kings, who possess the elephant and horses. And everyone was looking at him with the pride and ego and the jealousy. Worst master, mind is playing. So when the mind becomes the worst master, I am into delusion. And in that delusion, I'm expected to be in stress, anxiety, duality, and conflict. Anyhow, so the monk approached this guy. He said, "You have such a beautiful cow." "Yes, I have. Beautiful cow." Can I compare this? I hang on to the mirror for 2 hours and I look so handsome and beautiful. I have another cow. Anyhow, a lot of things. So, monk said, "Can you tell me one thing? Are you holding the cow or the cow is holding you?" Understand the delusion. That delusion causes a lot of challenges in our life. With a great pride and that I'm holding the cow. Don't you see that I have a leash in my hand? That leash is tied down in his neck. Don't you see that? monk was very strong. He wanted to teach this guy a lesson to bring his worst mastermind down. So he snatched forcibly the leash and left the cow free. The cow started running, and this guy started chasing the cow. The monk was also running side by side with this guy and asking him, "You were saying that you are holding the cow. It means you possess the cow, means the cow should chase you. It should not leave you. But now you are chasing the cow. So the cow is controlling you. Cow is dictating you. Cow is causing the problem to you. Happening for you or happening to